else. There's a way for me to get this out. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. I'm so proud of myself. This never gets old. So I just found out from my husband that our car has a flat tire. So I am going out there to check it out. So I've fixed a lot of flat tires. I tend to patch them. So far that's worked and I've never had a patch fail on me. But, oh, we'll see. We'll see. First step is to identify why it's flat. And then I gotta pull out my tire repair kit. I'm gonna pump this thing up and then I'm gonna move it because I think it might be underneath. Here we have my trusty tire inflator. I've been using this thing for a long time. This brand is a really solid brand. I've had this thing for over a decade. I've used it a lot on the streets of Seattle. There's a lot of flats. I would have stuff stuck in my tire about 2 or 3 times a year. And this thing is great. It's actually designed to be like permanently installed if you want to. I've never bothered with that, but this is still going strong. Just don't trust the meter. You want to measure that independently. It tends to be about 10 psi high from what it truly is. Okay, I got this on and just nothing came out. This tire is completely out. It does not get any flatter than this. Got this all set up. Let's get it moving. You always want to turn on your car when you do one of these, even if they technically run without turning on your car, just because you will use up all the juice in your starter battery and then you won't be able to start your car. So that's why. Okay, now I'm listening and I'm feeling to see if I can figure out where the leak is coming from. Usually you can like feel the air coming out, or you can kind of hear. Like where it's closest. You definitely have to get up and personal with these things, up close and personal. Sometimes it takes a bit. I hate these things. Where are you? I'm going to break my own advice and just do it a little bit without starting the car. Oh, I found it! I found it! My finger's right on it. Perfect. Do you hear that? Okay. Let's see what it is. Oh, some broken glass. Maybe I shouldn't have been putting my finger right on it. It's definitely broken glass. I'm going to move the car so that this is at a better viewing angle. So I've moved it, so now it's at the top here. That's going to be easier to access. Let me see if I can actually show it to you. All right. So it is right there. Broken glass in the tire. Gonna be tricky to get out, but let's try it. So my tire repair kits, it's kind of embarrassing to even show you, are kind of in disrepair, but I like to keep everything together, so it looks like this. I put some reflective tape on it. This is Blackjack Tire Repair. When I first started repairing tires, I actually, no joke, used a tire repair kit from the dollar store. I had a tire with like a screw in it, and it was just barely into the sidewall a little bit, and so my vehicle at the time was an all-wheel drive, and they were like, not only will we not repair this, but we have to replace all 4 of your tires, and we will not do it at all or let it leave the shop unless we do that. And I was devastated because I did not have the money for it. My dad was like, hey, I have this tire repair kit from the dollar store, let's just try it. And it held for the life of the tire. They were tires that I just received, and it held up for the next, I think, at least 5 years until the tires were like worn bald. No problems whatsoever. I was sold. I was like, I am repairing my own tires from now on. That was with a cheap tire plug. Blackjack, I really like the brand. Their tire plugs are very sticky. You can just tell it is higher quality. So I've been happy with that. I've just stuck with that ever since, because there's no reason to cheap out on something like this, in my opinion. So like I said, kind of embarrassing to show because my kits are kind of in disrepair. I have 2 of them because we used to have 2 vehicles that we used all the time. This one, the lubricants got all sticky and gross, so I gotta clean that up. Blackjack tire plugs, I like to keep them in bags because they do dry out. It's been a few years, so yeah, I wrote 2018 on them. That's how old these are. I'm probably gonna reorder them just because they do lose their stickiness over the years, but these should be fine to use. Okay, so the general process, let me show you what I got here. First, you gotta pull the thing out of the tire, okay? And now that's glass and that's gonna be difficult. I like locking pliers for this, and I have small hands and this is a small kit, so I like to use small ones. These are not the best, but I had to get these for a different project, so I added them in here. These are not the best, but let's see if it works. I had some better ones, but I liked them so much that I stole them from this kit, which means I just have to buy more. Okay, so step 1, you get the thing out, right? Step 2 is you actually have to make the hole bigger. That's what this thing is for. The dollar store kit that I got did not have these nice handles. Makes a big difference when you need every bit of leverage that you got. So this, it just is to make the hole bigger so that you can actually use the plug. And that's what you use the lubricant for, is to make it easier to work this thing. So all of this is about making the job easier so you don't have to have massive muscles in order to make this happen. It is still difficult for me, but I've learned a lot of hacks to make this work, and I'm going to be sharing those. I like to have replacement pieces of these just because one did break on me before. So now I just in case, I like to have replacement ones. The second tool is this one. You can see it's a little dirty, sorry, from the last repair. And what I'm going to do is thread a plug through this, basically like the eye of the needle, and you push it all the way down, you do a little turn, and then you pull it out. And it does have an open tip at the end, a little bit of an open tip, and it stays in. So I have replacement tips for this as well. Really important to have a razor, a straight razor, just because that gets it flat so you're not driving on like this bump because the plug sticks out a bit. You'll see what I'm talking about. Even though my lubricant spilled everywhere, these plugs are in great shape because I had them in the little baggie. I try to be prepared. You can see how sticky that is. It's hard to even open this because of how sticky it is. And that's what you want. You want it to stick to the tire. I have never had a repair fail, ever. And I've been doing this a lot. I lost track. It's been over a dozen, at least. Never had an issue. Okay, let's get started. The hardest part, in my opinion, is pulling out the thing. And I've never done broken glass before, so this is going to be interesting. I'm going to start with pumping this up again because the more air that's in the tire, the easier it is to pull it out. Learned that one the hard way. Oh, this one's going to be hard. This is not gripping to the broken glass at all. I'm getting little shards of broken glass everywhere as I try to get this off. It's shattering. I'm not seeing that there's a way for me to get this out. I'm going to show you what I mean. So this is all this broken glass. You see this? That's where it's coming out. There's just nothing to grip onto there. Okay, so I had to turn to the wisdom of Reddit for this. Basically, there's no way that I can get this out. So I looked up whether or not I could push it in, and I found a ton of people asking the same question. And pretty sure that an actual mechanic would be like, oh, there's risks to it. But so far, a lot of people have said, I've done this with a thing stuck in my tire that I couldn't get out because it was flush with the tire, and pushed it in, and it was fine. They actually updated it like years later, and they were like, everything's good. So I'm going to show it to you again because my phone overheated, and I'm not sure I actually showed it to you the last time I tried. And then I'm going to push it in and plug this baby up. There's the glass. And you can see how there's just no way to be able to get any sort of grip on that whatsoever. There's no way to leverage it. There's just nothing. And these little pieces here has been from me attempting, and they just broke off. So I'm gonna push it in. Wish me luck. All right, here guys. This is the tool for making it bigger. I'm just gonna push. Oh, actually, before I do that, I'm gonna pump this up again. I just made a mistake. Don't touch this, it gets very hot. Okay, I'm gonna do this fast because I'm losing air. Where's the loop? That's what it looks like, kind of like a blue gel. Just do that. Come on. Ooh, progress. Let me show you this. I'm so excited. While I was trying to push it in, I actually got in on the side, and there it is. Look at that. I did it. Woo! That is the offending piece of glass. I'm so proud of myself. This never gets old. Never, ever. I feel so empowered. This is what made my tire flat. Currently, this tool is stuck in it, and as you can hear, no air is escaping. I'm trying to figure out if I got all the glass or not. It's very difficult to see. I know some people would remove the tire, but my kids actually have an appointment in half an hour, so I don't got time for that. Okay, I think I got all the glass. I'm gonna move forward. This step is usually just kind of working it in and out to try to make the hole nice and comfortably big, which honestly it already is. So I'm gonna mark this, count this step as complete. One thing, I do wish this was a little bit shorter. I might look into any of these that are just slightly shorter because there's so little clearance in what I'm working with here. Oh, the weeds. The weeds. Okay. Now currently it is not getting quite all the way plugged up because I've made the hole bigger. That's fine. I used to freak out about that, but we're going to plug it up with the plugs. But I'm actually going to pump this baby up again. And get everything all ready so I can try to do the plugs really fast while it's all pumped up. Now this is an instance where it is okay to overinflate the tire. We're just doing it temporarily, and we're trying to get it as expanded as possible so that the hole is as big as possible, so that it's easier to work with. This is the tool. Again, there's this very, very small gap at the end, and that's what helps the plug stay in. I'm going to thread this now. Look at how nice and sticky that is. This one might require 2 plugs. The most I've ever done is 4 plugs, which is absolutely bizarre. It was repairing a friend's tire, and they were so grateful because they could not afford it otherwise. Definitely wouldn't typically recommend that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I like to get it basically centered like that. Here we go. I really wish there was a way to get you to see this, but I'm in a rush today, so we'll just do what we can do. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay, let me show you what I got so far. This is where we're at. It is not all the way in yet, but I'm holding pressure, and so far no air is leaking out. So I'm gonna push harder and hope to get all the way in. Okay, here we go. And I'm kind of twisting too to make it a little easier, and using sometimes I kind of wedge my shoulder into this to get a little more leverage. Oh, it went in. I'm always just so, I don't know, it just feels so good to have the power to do this myself. That is what you want to see, and I'm just gonna wiggle it in deeper. I'm gonna cut off anything that is sticking out anyway. So the only way to get it in too deep is if nothing is sticking out. Oh, I cannot do this one-handed while filming. Hang on. We are so close. Here we go. Okay, this is what you want to see. You see how there's just a little bit sticking up, and then I'm gonna do a little twist, maybe like that, and then I'm gonna pull straight out as much as I can in these tight quarters. Here we go. come on. There we go. Okay, I just pulled this out, and as you can hear, there are no leaks. No leaks at all. So that's the bit that's sticking up, and I'm going to cut that part off. First, I'm going to pump up the tire again and make sure there's no leaks with it pumped up. And then I will use a razor to cut that bit off, and then we should be good to go. All right, so this thing is reading 40. Remember how I told you don't trust it? This is just a basic, I don't know, some sort of cheap pressure gauge that I got from some repair store. Let's see what it's actually at. 32, perfect. Okay, so now I'm listening. I'm not hearing any air escaping, not feeling any air escaping. Seems like tire's holding pressure. I'll just, you know, we'll keep a close eye on it, but so far so good. Let me get that razor and pretty it up a little. I have kids, so I hate keeping this sort of thing lying around, but in cases like this tiny little thing used only for this purpose is really the best solution that I've found. I mean, this part isn't like crucial to get right, but it just makes it look better. The sticky stuff collects a lot of gunk. This is so hard to do while holding the camera. Let me set you down. All right, that's the bit I cut off. And just to show you again, that's what caused all this trouble. This little piece of glass right here. Okay, now to show you the final result. Ta-da! Okay, it doesn't look like much. Sorry, I'm just not taking the tire off. We have too much to do today. But the cut kind of went in the groove and a little outside of it. I'm kind of amazed that just one plug worked so well for this one. I'll keep you updated if anything changes, but that is how I patch a tire. I've been doing it for a long time, and it's kind of fun to get to do it again. Let's see, the last time I did this was about 4 months ago, actually. Yeah, so it comes in handy. It's way more convenient than like driving somewhere. So I encourage everyone to learn how to do this. Let me know if you've ever done it. I can't be the only one, right? Right? Bye.